that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, up them, Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do...
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
Elon Musk and 50 Cent just cracked the door open on something wild, and the whole industry is feeling the pressure already. The claim is simple but explosive. Diddy isn't the top dog, he's the smoke screen. According to what's being said, the real power player sits way higher, and if this is true, it makes other famous scandal lists look small by comparison. If you thought you already had the map figured out, this flips the whole layout upside down.
It's like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically. And yet they still fed him kids. Like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be. They
had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams is talking about it on
exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids?
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood. And you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these different, you're like,
Elon Musk isn't just tweeting and teasing anymore. He's allegedly linking up with 50 Cent to shine a light on who's been running this massive setup from the shadows the whole time. While 50 has been loud about the parties and pushing his documentary, Elon supposedly brings something way heavier to the table. We're talking influence, access, and leverage that most people can't even dream of. The talk is about data, digital receipts, and access to thousands of private messages from Twitter, now X, that could seriously shake Hollywood if they ever surface. This is being framed as a 3-level power pyramid. At the bottom, names like Jay-Z and Beyonce are being mentioned as part of the visible layer. In the middle, industry heavyweights like Oprah and Clive Davis are described as the gatekeepers who keep the machine moving. And at the very top, there's allegedly one name nobody expected, someone who's been right in front of everyone this whole time.
To think about this, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
This isn't just about music or labels anymore. The claims say it stretches into places people don't want to question, even touching the pulpit. And 50 Cent has been hinting at this angle for months now. Before we even climb this so-called pyramid, you gotta understand why Diddy's situation reaches way past hip-hop culture. This isn't a biography lesson, this is about the reason people clicked in the first place. When 50 Cent dropped his Diddy documentary The Reckoning, it wasn't for clout, it was because the industry stayed quiet while everything swirled around. No statements, no pushback, just silence. According to 50, that silence meant something dangerous, and he made it clear that if nobody spoke up, it would look like the entire culture was backing the behavior. He said everyone else was either scared, complicit, or being pushed to stay quiet. With nobody else stepping forward, 50 felt like he had no choice but to say something loud and public. And this is where the story turns heavy real fast.
Lawsuit that's suing Tony Busby, Spiro is a partner. And Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name, but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
Mass panic. Mass panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
No, they can't. That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party. And I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams right after Diddy got arrested running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this. If all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the After Dark, why would you say, I left early? Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Exactly.
Because how would you know that there was another party if you weren't informed?
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party. I didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known about it. You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party. It was a white party. It was dancing. It was wild. But at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party. I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have known about another party.
Diddy allegedly had around 250 hidden cameras inside his home. Yeah, that number sounds unreal, but that's what insiders have claimed. These cameras were supposedly recording everything during those private parties, and sources like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have said it wasn't just for personal use. The claim is that the footage was kept as leverage, straight up blackmail insurance. That's how Diddy allegedly held power and kept people in line. Now the word is those tapes are being quietly passed around and certain big names are sweating hard. So why does Elon Musk change the whole game? Because Elon owns X, formerly Twitter, which means access to years of private messages between celebrities and politicians that never went public. And this is where the spotlight swings to the industry power players.
Thing you know, she's fucking Ray J. And then it's Grammy time. And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
When Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't dance around the topic or drop vague hints. He openly questioned public figures and brought up Jennifer Lopez, who's been vocal about warning people on political issues. Elon asked something nobody else wanted to touch. How many people did she actually warn back then? According to Elon, the answer was 0. No warnings, no public concerns, nothing. And what made that hit harder is the fact that Jennifer Lopez was publicly known as Diddy's ex-girlfriend at one point. Elon said it straight up, not sugarcoated at all. Maybe her opinion shouldn't be treated as unquestionable truth. That single moment sent the internet into chaos. Because if someone that close never spoke up, what does that really say? Either she didn't know, which many people say feels hard to believe, or she knew and stayed silent. And if silence was the choice, people started asking why. What was being protected? Or more importantly, who was being protected? Now the climb up the pyramid officially begins. Level 1 starts with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and before anyone downplays that, just know this is only the base layer.
Favorite memory working with Diddy?
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's his spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music, and I poured into his dream. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.
Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan and made claims she wasn't supposed to say out loud. She talked about alleged connections involving Jay-Z and Diddy that the industry didn't want discussed publicly. And then something strange happened. That episode was reportedly pulled just 48 hours after going live. Gone, wiped, no replay. Jaguar raised a question that still hasn't been answered. How does Jay-Z sit with Gayle King on CBS and not get asked a single question about alleged connections involving him, Aaliyah, and R. Kelly? How does an interview like that even happen without addressing the biggest elephant in the room? Jaguar Wright didn't hold back at all. She publicly called out both Diddy and Jay-Z, saying they've had a tight grip on the industry for decades, like a fist pressing down on everything behind the scenes. And then there's the Aaliyah conspiracy that just refuses to fade away no matter how much time passes. For years, people online have speculated about whether Jay-Z or Beyonce were somehow connected to the tragic plane crash that took Aaliyah's life. The theory floating around is that Aaliyah was getting too close to Jay-Z, and someone allegedly saw her as a threat.
In 1993, he and Clive Davis founded Bad Boy Records. Clive Davis, how do you describe Clive Davis? There's an infomercial about him now, which is a document. It's being called a documentary, and it makes him look like this benign octogenarian that's helped all these rock stars with their careers. But people in the music industry really don't like Clive Davis, most of them. And his criminality is kind of amazing.
Jaguar Wright went even further and claimed Jay-Z was responsible for putting Aaliyah on that faulty plane. She framed it as punishment, saying Aaliyah rejected him, and her removal cleared space for Beyonce, who was still fighting her way to the top at the time. Now let's be clear, none of this has been officially confirmed, but the fact that these claims keep resurfacing has people talking non-stop. What makes it louder is that Jay-Z has never directly addressed these rumors in public. That silence hits different when the questions won't go away. And here's another detail that had people raising eyebrows hard. When Diddy started facing charges and alleged victims began filing lawsuits, guess who suddenly appeared in the picture? Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's personal lawyer. Spiro reportedly began representing some of the people connected to Diddy's legal situation, and folks immediately started asking questions. Why is Jay-Z's lawyer suddenly showing up all over Diddy's cases? That move alone sent speculation through the roof and added another layer to this already messy situation. Insiders are claiming this whole move is about controlling the story before it spins out of control. The idea being pushed is that silencing alleged victims and shaping the narrative early could stop more powerful names from getting dragged into the spotlight. Because if Diddy ever decided to speak openly and start naming names, people believe a lot of influential figures could be exposed.
Watch as Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Geno Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they can't say these things because they talk about another black dude. This is not where the line is drawn. It's that side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All these deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.D. Jakes, any of them, the lies will be exposed.
And according to the claims online, Jay-Z allegedly would not want that kind of fallout spreading any further. And you can't talk about Jay-Z's rise without bringing up Big L. Big L was widely known as someone who helped introduce Jay-Z to key players, including Dame Dash, during the early days of Rockefeller. Talks were reportedly happening about deals involving Big L and his circle, and momentum was building fast. But then everything changed suddenly. Just days after those conversations reportedly began, Big L was tragically killed in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. The case remains unsolved to this day. Jaguar Wright has claimed that Big L's death was the first in a series of mysterious losses that appeared around the time of Jay-Z's rise to power. Is it coincidence? Maybe. But when people start connecting dots, many say the pattern feels unsettling. Now we move up to level 2 of the pyramid, and this is where the conversation turns even heavier. This level points toward Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis, often described by critics as major power brokers within entertainment.
Keep it moving. The worst that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from my heart. There's enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sins. I don't care what it is, the blood would fix it. But I ain't got to repent about this. All I got to do.
Let's start with Oprah. She's been photographed multiple times with Harvey Weinstein, and according to public discussion, these weren't just quick red carpet moments. People say they appeared close, which has fueled years of questions and debate. She promoted his projects, stood right beside him at major events, and all of this was happening while rumors about Harvey were already loud in Hollywood. Survivors were desperate for someone with Oprah's level of influence to speak up and push back, but she stayed quiet, and that silence made a lot of people feel like she was protecting the system instead of challenging it. Then there's the South Africa school controversy. Oprah invested around $40 million into a girls' school that was meant to be her lasting legacy. But not long after it opened, serious allegations came out involving a dorm staff member, Virginia Makubane, accused of misconduct. Oprah flew in, fired staff, and appeared emotional on camera, but critics said too many details didn't fully add up. The question people still ask is simple but heavy. Did Oprah know more than she ever admitted? Now old photos are resurfacing, showing Oprah attending some of the same private gatherings where Diddy was known to host exclusive parties. Commentators like Jaguar Wright and Dr. Umar Johnson have hinted that Oprah holds a very quiet but very serious level of influence in Hollywood. Not loud power, but behind the scenes power. The kind that makes people nervous to challenge her and allegedly has the ability to end careers with a single call.
Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party. There could only be 2 reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties: money and sex.
Cassie has turned over substantial amounts of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with Blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that contain footage.
And then there's Clive Davis. This man is in his 90s and has been embedded in the music industry for decades. He founded Arista Records back in 1974 and played a role in launching or elevating legendary artists like Billy Joel, Janis Joplin, and Carlos Santana. He publicly came out as bisexual years ago, and this is where speculation starts heating up. Hip-hop figure Suge Knight has made claims over the years involving Clive Davis and industry behavior, claims that remain unproven but continue to circulate online. These statements have kept Clive's name wrapped in controversy as people question how much power he really holds behind closed doors. The claims don't stop at mentor and protege talk. Suge Knight has said that Clive Davis personally told him he and Diddy were more than just business partners. According to Suge, when he asked Clive what that really meant, Clive allegedly explained they were romantically involved, not just connected through work. That allegation alone made waves and added another layer to the rumors already floating around. And when a reporter later tried to question Clive about Diddy at a public event, the reaction turned heads fast. Clive reportedly became visibly uncomfortable and refused to answer anything at all. No comment, no clarification, just shut down. To many people watching, that response felt louder than any statement he could have made. Then there's the long-running Whitney Houston controversy. A lot of people still question what really happened surrounding her death.
Diddy and TD Jakes.
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin. Drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere.
It's been reported that Whitney had a serious argument with Clive Davis just 2 days before she passed. Family members, including Bobby Brown's sister, have claimed Whitney didn't simply pass away the way the official story says. Ray J was reportedly the last person to see Whitney alive, and rumors online allege he allowed someone into her room who supplied the substances involved. These claims have never been proven in court, but they continue to circulate because Whitney's family has publicly said they believe she was harmed and not just the victim of an accident. So the question people keep asking is this: with decades of rumors, accusations, and speculation swirling around Clive Davis, why has he never been arrested or formally charged? Some believe Diddy is being positioned as the fall guy, taking all the heat while others stay protected behind the scenes. And now we've reached the top of the pyramid. This is the name nobody expected to hear: Bishop T.D. Jakes. Yeah, that name hits different. A pastor, a religious leader, a man known for preaching faith, suddenly being pulled into this conversation has left a lot of people stunned. The same man who preaches to thousands every Sunday is now being dragged into the conversation. For months, 50 Cent has been dropping subtle hints about T.D. Jakes, posting about him again and again on social media. And here's the theory that has everyone talking nonstop.
Why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or when we told this happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties.
If corruption really reached the pulpit, then this alleged blackmail network would be way bigger than anything people compare it to. The claim floating around is that Diddy needed more than power and money. He allegedly needed legitimacy, a clean image, someone trusted, respected, and untouchable to give him cover when things got messy. And according to speculation online, that's where T.D. Jakes allegedly fits into the picture. In part 4 of 50 Cent's Diddy documentary, people noticed something that felt intentional. Clips of T.D. Jakes were placed at very specific moments throughout the episode. When Lil Rod talks about waking up sore after attending Diddy's parties, a clip of T.D. Jakes suddenly appears speaking about being on a love rampage. Viewers didn't miss that timing. A lot of people are convinced 50 added those clips himself as a coded message, not saying it outright, but connecting dots and letting the audience read between the lines. And this lines up with what Cat Williams warned about. He said that in 2024, lies would be exposed no matter who you are. Celebrity, mogul, pastor, nobody exempt. And when T.D. Jakes was asked directly about the Diddy allegations, his response raised even more eyebrows. He brushed it off and said, "Keep it moving." He added that even if everything were true, repentance would cover it, saying there's enough power in faith to forgive sins. Then he doubled down, saying he didn't even need to repent over this. The internet went into full meltdown mode after that response. A lot of people said the reaction felt off, claiming an innocent person usually denies everything outright. Instead of pushing back hard, he talked about repentance, and that alone made people suspicious. Online voices started saying that kind of answer only adds fuel to the questions. Jaguar Wright then stepped in with even more explosive claims.
The Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know.
She said if Bishop Jakes was ever present at a Diddy party, there were only 2 possible reasons in her opinion. Either money was involved or he knew exactly what those parties were about. Those comments spread fast and turned the heat way up. She also claimed that Cassie handed over large amounts of material to federal authorities. According to her statements, this included alleged video and audio recordings from Diddy's parties. The claim is that these recordings allegedly show powerful politicians, artists, and entertainers in situations they never wanted the public to see. Here's where the story gets even heavier. Jaguar said multiple adult male escorts have come forward claiming they witnessed or experienced things at these parties that back up the rumors circulating online. These claims remain unproven, but people latched onto them because of how detailed they sounded. She also alleged that a legal dispute is being prepared involving a young man who says he was harmed years ago. To be clear, these are allegations, not proven facts. The claim is that there were private agreements made long ago to keep the situation quiet, and now that the individual is an adult, he's seeking legal clarity and accountability. That part alone has caused serious debate and intense discussion online. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, also weighed in on this, and his comments added more gasoline to the fire. He questioned why a religious leader would even be present at gatherings where drinking, sexual behavior, and adult activity were happening openly. Gene said it's hard to explain that away unless TD Jakes was somehow directly involved in what was going on at those parties. Gene didn't stop there. He claimed he's heard whispers about tapes that may surface soon. And according to him, once those recordings come out, the speculation ends. No more guessing, no more theories, just whatever the evidence shows. That statement alone has people watching the situation closely. Now zoom out because this ties into something even bigger. When Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan, the conversation didn't stay limited to Diddy. They talked about power, influence, and why so many billionaires are publicly lining up behind Kamala Harris. According to Elon, it's not really about political values or policy. He suggested it's about fear, panic even. The idea being that if Donald Trump were to win, sealed information connected to the Epstein case could potentially come back into focus. And if that happened, some of the wealthiest and most powerful people on the planet could end up exposed. Elon implied that certain elites are nervous because secrets they've buried for years might finally surface. Joe Rogan even pointed out that LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman appeared uncomfortable during related discussions. Joe asked Elon directly if he noticed it. Elon answered with just one word, yes. Joe then made a chilling comparison. He said Diddy's alleged operation mirrors what people believe Jeffrey Epstein was doing. Both situations allegedly involved recording powerful individuals in compromising positions and using that material to maintain control. That comparison alone made the room go quiet and sent the internet spiraling. The most chilling question people keep asking is this: who was supplying Diddy with young people, and how many powerful names are allegedly caught on those tapes? That's where the fear really kicks in. Even Melinda Gates unintentionally added fuel to that conversation. One of the major reasons she publicly cited for leaving Bill Gates was his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, and this was after Epstein had already been convicted. Melinda has said she met Epstein only once, but that was enough. She described the experience as feeling like evil personified, just being in the same room with him. Let that sink in. If the connection between Bill Gates and Epstein was serious enough for Melinda to walk away from one of the wealthiest men on earth, people can't help but wonder what she knew, what she sensed, and what she may have seen long before the public caught on. If that level of power still couldn't protect a marriage from the truth, imagine how deep these networks might really go. That's why so many people say the signs were always there, hiding in plain sight. Dave Chappelle tried to warn people about this years ago. He said the entertainment industry itself is a monster, the same monster the Me Too movement was trying to expose. When people asked why he didn't just take Chappelle's show to another network, his answer stunned everyone. He said it's like asking why an enslaved person would run from one plantation to another. Maybe the next master seems nicer, but you're still trapped in the same system. Dave openly admitted he felt boxed in, controlled, and cornered by forces bigger than him. And if someone as wealthy, respected, and successful as Dave Chappelle felt trapped like that, what does that say about everyone else trying to survive inside the same industry? This story is nowhere near finished. More names are going to surface, more evidence is going to come out, and more uncomfortable truths are going to hit the public eye. This situation is still unfolding in real time, and what we're seeing now might only be the surface. So here's the real question I want you to think about. Do you believe TD Jakes is truly the figure at the top of this pyramid, or do you think there's an even bigger name still hiding in plain sight? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is far from over, and if this video had you shocked, just know the next one goes even deeper. We're talking about more high-profile names, more connections, and more details that people don't want discussed. From Meek Mill to Ashton Kutcher to Naomi Campbell, the list keeps growing and the pressure keeps building. This isn't the end, it's only the beginning. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs to see this, and definitely comment your thoughts below. Stay locked in because we'll be here breaking down every twist, every update, and every reveal as it happens. Let's see you on the next one.